This video contains a truth that has changed the lives of many people. If you are having health problems and have ever felt stuck, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment in the comment section so we can share useful knowledge together. Have you ever thought, at my age, do I really need to think about protection anymore? If that's ever crossed your mind, you're not alone. You'd be surprised how many folks in their 60s, 70s, even 80s are quietly rediscovering intimacy, companionship, and yes, even romance. But here's the catch. Just because the kids are grown and the grandkids are on their third iPad, doesn't mean you're out of the woods when it comes to sexual health. In fact, this chapter of life, your golden years, might be the most important time to make sure you're not making simple mistakes that could put your health at risk. So today, we're going to talk about something that often gets swept under the rug, whispered about in passing, or laughed off like an old memory. We're going to talk about condoms and the 5 biggest mistakes people over 60 make when using them. Mistakes that can easily be avoided with the right information. And trust me, you deserve to enjoy your intimacy with confidence, not confusion. Now I know, this topic might feel a little awkward, but let me tell you this as someone who's been in healthcare for over 30 years. The only thing more awkward than talking about protection is having to treat a preventable infection or deal with a surprise health scare. So if you're here watching this, you're already taking the right step. That takes courage, and I commend you. And before we go any further, I want to hear from you. If you have any medical concerns, questions, or even personal challenges when it comes to intimacy or health, after 60, share them in the comments below. This is a safe, supportive space where you can get real answers without judgment. All right, let's talk about the first mistake, using the wrong size and thinking one size fits all. This one is more common than you think, especially among older adults who may not have used condoms regularly in decades. It's easy to assume that all condoms are created equal, and that you can just grab the first box off the shelf and be good to go. But condoms come in different lengths, widths, and materials, and using the wrong size can lead to a whole lot of trouble. Too tight, you could be cutting off circulation, risking breakage, or dealing with painful friction. Too loose, it might slip off during use, and that's a risk nobody wants to take at any age. When a condom doesn't fit properly, not only does it reduce effectiveness, it can make the whole experience uncomfortable, or worse, completely ineffective. So what's the solution? Take a moment to read the sizing guides on the packaging. Some brands offer slim, regular, and large sizes. Others offer even more options. Try a few until you find what feels secure and comfortable. And don't be embarrassed. It's just like finding the right pair of shoes. If it doesn't fit, it's not going to support you properly. And your safety deserves the right fit. Now, let's talk about the second mistake, skipping the condom altogether because pregnancy isn't a concern anymore. This one's tricky because for most people over 60, the thought of pregnancy is long in the rearview mirror. Menopause has already done its work. But here's the problem. Condoms aren't just about pregnancy. They're also about protection from sexually transmitted infections, or STIs. And here's a little-known fact. STI rates among seniors have been rising steadily over the past 2 decades. That's right. According to the CDC, people over 60 are part of one of the fastest-growing age groups for certain STIs, like chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. Why? Because the conversation around protection often ends when childbearing does. And I get it. Maybe you've been widowed or divorced, and now you're finally starting to date again. Maybe you've found a new partner through a senior group or a dating app. It feels exciting, and that connection is beautiful. But it only takes one misstep to end up with an infection. That can affect not just your physical health, but your emotional well-being, too. That's why it's so important not to leave protection behind. Just because you've left childbearing behind, condoms still matter. They're a simple, affordable way to enjoy intimacy with peace of mind. And trust me, there's nothing more attractive than confidence and care, especially when it comes from a place of self-respect and mutual understanding. Now let's take a breath here for a moment. I want you to really sit with this for a second. Your age does not disqualify you from wanting or deserving a healthy, passionate, intimate life. There's no expiration date on closeness or connection or touch. The only thing that changes is how we prepare for it, how we protect our bodies and honor our needs with wisdom and experience. So whether you've been with your partner for decades or you're navigating a new relationship later in life, using condoms correctly is not just about safety, it's about dignity. It's about valuing yourself enough to make smart choices that honor your body and your partner's. 2. Now that we've touched on sizing and the misconception about pregnancy, it's time to dig even deeper into this conversation. We've already started to peel back some layers on a topic most people tend to avoid, but you stuck around, and that tells me something powerful. You care about your health, your confidence, and your quality of life. So let's keep going. There's another common mistake that flies under the radar, especially among older adults, and that's using expired condoms. Yes, condoms have expiration dates. It's not just a suggestion printed on the box, it's there for a reason. As condoms age, especially if they've been stored in warm places like a glove compartment or a wallet, the material begins to break down. Latex becomes dry, lubricants lose effectiveness, and that reliable layer of protection, it starts to weaken without you even noticing. Imagine this, you're in a moment of closeness, everything feels right, and then, a snap, or a tear, or worse, you don't realize anything's gone wrong until days later. It's the kind of scenario that can be completely avoided just by checking a small date printed on the wrapper. That little date could mean the difference between peace of mind and a doctor's appointment you didn't plan on. So here's something simple you can do today. Go through your drawers, your nightstand, your travel kit, anywhere you might have stored condoms. Check those dates. Toss anything expired. Buy a fresh box or two and store them in a cool, dry place. It's a small step, but it makes a world of difference. You wouldn't drink milk that expired in 2021, right? Same logic here, except the consequences could be more than just a stomachache. Alright, now let's move into the fourth mistake, and this one might surprise you. Not using enough lubrication, or using the wrong kind. As we age, our bodies change. That includes natural lubrication, especially for women after menopause. But men are affected, too. Thinner skin, more friction, and reduced sensitivity can make intimacy more uncomfortable than it needs to be. And yet, so many people skip lube entirely, or worse, grab something from the bathroom shelf that actually makes things more dangerous. Here's the truth. Condoms are more effective and much more comfortable when used with proper lubrication, but you have to be smart about the type you use. Oil-based lubes like Vaseline or baby oil? Big no-no. They can weaken latex condoms and cause them to break without warning. And just because something says moisturizing doesn't mean it's condom-friendly. What you want is a water-based or silicone-based lubricant. These are specifically designed to be safe with latex, and they help reduce friction, tearing, and irritation, all of which can increase your risk of infection. And honestly, they make everything smoother, easier, and more enjoyable. It's one of those little additions that can make a big difference in your comfort and your confidence. If you've never used lube before, or it feels unfamiliar, that's okay. Think of it as part of self-care, like moisturizing dry skin or wearing reading glasses. It's just one more tool to help your body feel better and function better, and to make sure the protection you're using actually does its job. Now, before we move on, let me say this. Being proactive about lubrication isn't about weakness. It's about wisdom. It's about recognizing your body's changes and choosing comfort over pride. You've earned that right. Let's keep going, because the next mistake is one that happens all too often, especially when you're just trying to be spontaneous, putting the condom on too late, or taking it off too early. This is one of those things people don't talk about enough. Many assume that as long as the condom is on for the main event, they're protected. But here's the problem. STIs can still be transmitted through skin-to-skin contact or pre-ejaculate, even before full penetration happens. If the condom isn't on before any genital contact, you're leaving yourself vulnerable. And on the flip side, removing it too soon, maybe in the middle of things or before full completion, also increases your risk. Not only is there the potential for fluid exposure, but it disrupts that protective barrier you carefully put in place. It's like locking the front door but leaving the windows wide open. Doesn't quite get the job done, right? Here's a simple rule of thumb. If there's even a chance there'll be contact, the condom should be on, and it should stay on until everything's completely finished, and you've carefully removed it to avoid any leaks or messes. I know it may feel like it slows things down, but in truth, it's just part of the rhythm. You can even turn it into part of the moment, a shared experience that shows mutual respect and care. And while we're on the subject, let's not forget that proper removal matters, too. After use, hold the base of the condom when withdrawing to prevent spills. Tie it up, wrap it in tissue, and dispose of it in the trash, not the toilet. That little bit of attention at the end can save you from a lot of stress later on. You might be thinking, wow, this is more detailed than I expected. But that's exactly the point. You deserve to have all the facts, all the tools, and all the clarity to enjoy intimacy with total confidence. Because there's no age limit on pleasure, connection, or love, and there's certainly no age limit on doing it safely and wisely. Let's keep this conversation going, because we're not quite finished yet. There's one final piece to this puzzle, and it might just be the most important one of all. Alright, we've made it this far. We've talked about storage, expiration dates, lube, timing, but there's one last mistake that people make. And it's not about the condom at all. It's about avoiding the conversation. Yes, mistake number 5 is silence. Too many people, especially older adults, avoid talking about sexual health. Maybe it's because of how we were raised. Maybe it's stigma. Maybe it's pride. But that silence, it's dangerous. When we don't talk openly with our partners, or even our doctors, we leave ourselves in the dark. And nothing good happens in the dark unless you turn on the light. Think about this. You wouldn't start a new medication without asking questions. You wouldn't drive a car if the brakes hadn't been checked. So why approach intimacy without clear, open, respectful communication? It's not always easy. I understand that. Bringing up STIs, testing, protection, it can feel awkward. But here's the truth. The most confident, attractive, powerful thing you can do is be honest. Saying, I care about you, and I care about staying healthy. Let's make sure we're safe. Isn't a buzzkill. It's maturity. It's dignity. And it's love, real, grounded, grown-up love. And if your partner pushes back, if they say, why bother, or we're too old for this, that's your red flag. Because protection isn't about age. It's about respect, for yourself and for them. And anyone worth sharing that level of closeness with should care about your well-being as much as you do. Let me be clear about something else. Your doctor is not going to be shocked. Whether you're 35 or 75, they've heard it all. You have every right to ask for STI screenings, to get advice on safe practices, and to bring up questions about intimacy. If they brush it off, find a new doctor who treats the whole you, not just your blood pressure. Now, I want to say this directly, heart to heart, your desire for connection, affection, and even sex, that's not something to be ashamed of. It's a sign of life, of vitality, of curiosity, and it doesn't expire when you hit retirement. In fact, many older adults say they feel freer, more open, and more emotionally available than ever before. But freedom without information can be risky. So this video, this conversation, it's your armor, your roadmap, your reset button. Let's quickly recap the 5 major condom mistakes that could be putting you at risk. Improper storage, heat, light, and friction degrade condom strength. Keep them cool and safe. Expired condoms, check those dates. Fresh is best. Wrong or no lubrication. Use water or silicone-based lubes. No baby oil, no Vaseline. Putting it on late. Taking it off early. Full coverage, start to finish. That's your protection window. Not having the conversation, silence isn't safety. Talk, ask, advocate. Now, what's next? If you're watching this, chances are you're already ahead of the game. You're willing to learn, to grow, and to face topics that most people avoid. That deserves respect. So here's what I want you to do right after this video ends. Do a condom check. Storage, expiration, quantity. Buy a good quality lube made for safe sex, even if it's just to have it ready. Plan a conversation with your partner or your doctor, even if it's just one sentence. And if you're not sexually active right now, still prepare, because you never know when life might surprise you. Sexual wellness isn't about performance or pressure. It's about being present, protected, and at peace with your choices. That kind of confidence, that kind of freedom, it belongs to you at any age. If this video helped you feel more informed or empowered, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear this, especially a friend who might be too shy to ask. And don't forget to subscribe. We talk about real topics here, the ones that actually matter. Remember, your health, your heart, your happiness, they don't retire. So don't retire your curiosity. Don't retire your joy. And definitely don't retire your protection. Stay smart, stay safe, and above all, stay connected. We'll see you in the next one.